Hello and welcome to the grand finale of the 1990 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic. This is the final between Tony Roderick and Warren Stewart. Roderick beat Sharon McLeish, Tom Curry, Mark Ramsey to move into the final. And Warren Stewart had a bye in round one as the top qualifier and then beat Carl Bottomley and again top qualified. So it's Roderick first.
Sit, babe.
Trying to get off to a perfect start. Joining me in the commentary team for this final is Jeanette Baker. Not exactly the right start, but 9 down.
Well, he had half the battle won there. He actually hit the pocket a little bit too high, not quite got the 10-pin out, but not quite taking the 6-pin out. You see the side angle shot, Tony shoulder down, powering the ball through. Soft case ball going up.
Dead on target with the spare there. Tony Roderick closes the first frame. His opponent is Warren Stewart, top qualified, as I said earlier. His career in 1990, he won the Launceston Cup, runner-up in the Melbourne Cup and the Burnie Cup and the Elizabeth Open. In 88, the Hobart Cup. In 87, he was the Australian Masters champion. He's a member of the Victorian state team. This is a battle, Queensland versus Victoria. His first shot in the final. How did you see that one, Jeanette?
Well, he was playing it a little bit too wide that time. It was way out to the right. I guess on the first frame, the easiest thing to do is to get over anxious and pull it through the nose, but he sends it out wide, a lot of power. Ball comes back. Actually, he was lucky to get the 9 count on that particular shot. That's where it's going to be interesting between these two. It's going to be a battle of power and strength.
No mistake with the spare, dead on target. A battle of the lefties and the righties. Stewart, the right-hander, and Roderick, the left-hander. The crowd here at Browns Plains 10-pin enjoying this one. Let's have a look at the action of this young man, 27 years of age.
There we see Warren bring the ball down low and powers that spare to make sure that ball goes straight. And consequently, perfect spare right in the middle of the pin.
Let's see what he can do. Not quite there for the East Bentley plumber. What was the problem there, Jeanette?
Well, he got under the ball very, very well, but instead of letting the thumb come out and consequently getting the lift off the fingers, we can see the depth of the ball on that lane and therefore the late break of the ball on the pins. And a 10-pin was the result.
Safely makes the spares. And I think, Jeanette, this will be a battle of who cracks first.
I think it'll take the players about 3 frames to settle in, start taking deep breaths, feeling relaxed, feeling confident, and then we should see some power bowling.
Tony Roderick, winner of the Winfield Classic in '89, runner-up in that contest in New Zealand in 1990, runner-up in the Hunter Valley Cup. And of course, in 1988, runner-up in this tournament. Dearly would love to go one better in 1990. Let's have a look at this shot.
Sit!
Oh, there it is. Could this be the start of a big run for Tony Roderick, a contract cleaner from Greenslopes in Brisbane?
Well, the crowd are very much behind Tony, being from Brisbane, but there it was. He's calling the ball to sit. He didn't want it to jump hard, and it just went right through the desired pocket. As we see here, the action of Tony Roderick, the shoulder down, but it stays set down, and he uses that for leverage when he releases the ball. And he's happy with that shot.
Can he make it a double here? Wealth of experience, been bowling for 20 years.
Yeah!
He liked it, and why wouldn't he? Runs all the way across to the sideboard, and that's 2 in a row for him, a double.
Well, he knew as soon as he let that go, it was going to be good. He got behind it the way he wanted. He called it before it hit the pins. There was no doubt that that ball was going to knock all 10 down. Yeah, he called it 5 feet before it hit the pins.
At 27, this young man, Warren Stewart, has been bowling for 16 years. Let's have a look at this shot. Go on, Brooklyn. Didn't carry, though.
No, he looks like he's very tentative. You know, Tony has come off a couple of previous matches, and there we see Warren getting the ball out, really powering it through. But we must remind people it's the position of the thumb on the release that will dictate the direction of the ball.
Safely makes the spare. It's a good sign. He's closed all his frames, as has Tony Roderick.
using the harder case ball, going for the spare, really heaving it to make sure that ball goes straight, and it's going to cover both those pins perfectly.
There's Tony Rodrick. He's in front by 3 pins, but with a double. We'll take a short break with the final coming up on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
On him.
Look at the perspiration. Look at him. Man under pressure.
Exactly. And he's using the green is a gel-type substance, which is to absorb perspiration and make sure that there is no dirt on his hands.
Rodrick now.
Come on!
He's on fire. That's 3 in a row. The Queenslander pumped up for a big win or a big performance in front of his home crowd. Let's have a look at this one, Jeanette.
He sends it out, right out near the first arrow, still going out. Up it comes, he's jumping. He knows those pins are going to be where he wants them to be, and that's all in the pit at the back. Says, come on. Slow motion, and there they all are.
Rodrick now. We have a look. That's Stewart's hand and the concentration, and the man right next to him is his Victorian teammate, Steve Lovell, who was beaten earlier on in the tournament. There he is. So the two very pensive at the moment. Here's the man on fire. Will the run continue? Lucky to get away with that, I think.
Well, he was. It was a good shot. Actually, to execute that split is a good shot. As we see, he just comes straight through it, loses balance, which could be the cause of bringing that a little bit too high, but he takes the 6 pin out and leaves himself the single pin at the back row.
Now, can't afford to make a mistake here, or that would lead Stewart back into the match. What's happening? Yes. No margin for error on that shot.
Tony is actually in the advantage seat in that he is coming in as the lesser-seeded player. Warren is the top-seeded player. He was the top seed through the qualifying. He had to buy the first round. Then he played Carl Bottomley and defeated Carl. He's only had 1 game on this TV pair. So the pressure's on him to try and relax and just execute the shot as well as he knows how to, instead of trying to do anything more.
Let's see if the 27-year-old can respond. Waiting.
Yes, he can.
Could this be the start of the comeback? Warren Stewart from East Bentley in Victoria certainly needed a strike there.
Well, there it is. We see the shot. The thumb got out a little bit sooner. Still the same amount of speed on the ball, but he got the mix and the 5 pin went. Warren's been bowling for a long, long time. I've seen him come up through the ranks, and on the pin cam, the 5 pin, and he looks up and saying, I am so glad that pin fell over. Now, if he gets a double here, it'll improve his confidence, and he'll be able to feel like he can attack the target.
Oh, went Brooklyn.
Well, once again, that left-hand lane for right-handers is just jumping that little bit more. And as we see here, he executes the shot, rips through the ball high, has the baby split, but down goes that 3 pin, leaving him the solid 10 there.
Must make sure of this one. Yep, does so. Good execution of the spare that time, Jeanette.
Well, it was. He's getting the thumb out quicker now, which means that, as we see on here, the thumb comes out early. The ball's just over the foul line, fudging it. That is putting no fingers or no lift on the ball, and the ball just sails straight to that right-hand corner for him.
There he is again, deep in concentration. Not even bothering to watch his opponent, looking down at the floor, nodding. The man next to him, Steve Lovell, his Victorian teammate, just whispering into his ear. Now we wait for Rodrick.
Set!
Oh, yes. That's the sort of thing you need. The young man realising he can gather from the reaction of the crowd and the bowler that his opponent has just put 10 in the pit.
Well, once again, as long as Tony stays in that area, he's got about a 2 or 3 board area that he can play in, right? And contrary to previous matches, his shots have been in the pocket, in the desired place for the perfect execution. With all bowlers, if they don't hit the pocket, they lose the chance of getting strikes.
Chance for the two bowlers to regather their thoughts. At the moment, Tony Rodrick looking good in this final of the Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic for 1990. News here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. This is the finale to the Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic for 1990. Tony Rodrick at the moment looking the goods against Warren Stewart from Victoria. Rodrick, he is a contract cleaner from Greenslopes in Brisbane. One of the most talented and gifted bowlers in this country. And at the moment, really looking to launch. He strikes out at 269 here. He rode rode that one home. Look at the reaction on him. I think he's realising he's got his opponent where he wants him.
Well, he's hungry. He is being really aggressive. Instead of trying to place the ball, he is just swinging it through that target, giving it the lift it deserves. He knows where the pocket is, and there it is. He grits the teeth and says, that's one more for me. He gets down on his knees and the clenched fist.
Issuing the challenge to his younger opponent. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, that's a great response from Warren Stewart. He is far from throwing in the towel. And of course, if he can win this one, the winner, $5,000 and a trip to Las Vegas, compliments of Qantas. Let's have a look at this one, Jeanette.
It's a solid strike. He got the thumb out. He got through the shot. He sent the ball out to where it was supposed to go, and the lane brought it back for him, which is all you can do in these pressure-packed matches. You play the shot the way you know how. There's no point getting up there trying to do something you've never done before. You keep it as simple and basic as you possibly can.
Warren Stewart enjoys golf and squash, but now all concentration on those 10 pins. Look good, but seemed to die at the last moment.
Well, his shots on that left-hand lane have been high and through the nose. I believe that Warren made an adjustment, as we see there. Yeah, just a fraction inside 10 board. Down it goes, just touches the head pin, but leaves the cluster at 245. Possibly moved just a fraction too deep that time. Light, but not the mix.
Oh dear, this could be it.
That could be a very costly area for Warren. Tony is sitting on a double. He's already several pins in front. He's looking at a 269 pace. If he strikes out, that would give him confidence to keep on going. He just has to keep executing good shots like he has.
I know in 1988, Tony was very disappointed. He top qualified only to be beaten by Terry Marr in the final. He was dead set keen this year to win this one. Let's see if he can keep this roll happening.
Howie.
Yes, he can. Oh, a bit of good luck. One of the pins coming out of the gutter, taking the 10 pin.
Well, that's the reaction we call the love tap, and that is that you love to see the ball go down the lane. Hits the pocket just light, but that pin coming out of the gutter, you love to see that pin tap it out of the way.
There it is, Tony Roderick. Pin cam shows it. Bang.
Cool.
Happy man. He's now got 3 strikes in a row. As you said, on par for a 269. And a big win in this final. Can he keep it up?
Why not?
Yeah, across the Brooklyn. He'll take the 10, though.
Well, of course, he says, why not? He knew it was going to go over there. He came out of it early. Shoulder was set, down early. It's picking up way, way too soon. He knew it was going to go over. Why not? Most bowlers will take it any side they possibly can. That's not perfect, but they all fell down.
Looking at the scoreboard, Tony Roderick is home. Warren Stewart now at least can keep him honest. No, disappointing. Oh, the man is disappointed. The pressure starting to take its toll. One game in the lead up to this.
Well, the thing was that, you know, he gave it some room. He wanted to make the shot, and it didn't happen the way he wanted it to.
Makes the spare. .193 game for him. He'll take a break. We'll have a look at this.
Using the left-hand side of the lane for that spare, the maximum percentage shot for right-hand bowlers.
There's Tony Roderick's girlfriend, Edie. Warren Stewart looking to punch out for a game of 193. Let's see what he can do. Goes Brooklyn. Yeah, little bit of luck. Takes the 10.
The right smile on his face to say, well, why bother hitting the pocket? It goes over there and they all fell down. As we see, oh, that energy, that effort that he puts in that shot. Over it goes. 2 pins collapse inside one another and he knocks them all down.
All the gym work and jogging came to the forte there of this very strong and powerful young man. Real academic here. More orthodox that time, but leaves 2 pins.
Well, Warren spares this. He's got a 183. It's not a total disgrace, but he knows that he's a better bowler than that. He's a very talented player, but it's a lesson well learned for his debut on television, I think.
Very creditable effort. Let's wait for it. Takes out one pin. That leaves him with a final score in the 1990 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic of 182. Disappointment for the young man who'd averaged 199.6 coming into this final. Had a game high during the seedings of 266. Looks down.
He'll be disappointed, but this is the man. He's on 4 strikes going into this 10th frame.
Nah.
Oh, he wrote it off, but when it's all over, bar the shouting, he'll take it.
Well, he's glad of that shot.
And the crowd reacting here. Let's call it through this one.
Inside target, over it goes. I mean, this is one thing. This is the luck of the draw. The number of players who in finals get strikes on the wrong side, and yet the opposition player, as we've seen in matches so many times before.
He goes the other way again.
Well, who says lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice, right?
Oh, there's his girlfriend, Edie. She's celebrating too. All smiles, and well, you can afford $5,000 coming up in the kitty and a trip to Las Vegas in the high roller. Let's watch it. Goes Brooklyn, and boom. He was going to give himself the bullet.
Well, I'm sure if it happened to Tony, if the roles were reversed, Tony would not be impressed at his opponent doing that. But when you're the winner and you're the one in front, you laugh and you think it's great.
The run continues. Oh, what a magic finish to the 1990 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic. Tony Roderick successful, 269 to 182 over Warren Stewart. And Stewart as the runner-up, who takes home $3,000. Tony Roderick, he celebrates, acknowledges the crowd for their response, and they have been magnificent here. Tony wins $5,000 and a trip to Las Vegas. Compliments of Qantas for the high roller tournament. $1 million prize money in that. We'll be back with all the celebrations and the presentations after this short break on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Now it's time for the presentations. The runner-up in this year's Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic, Warren Stewart. And from Coca-Cola, Richard Chapman to present the runners-up check for $3,000. And a well-deserved round of applause from the big crowd here at Browns Plains. The winner, though, is Tony Roderick. Tony receives $5,000, compliments of Coca-Cola, and he also receives a beautiful trophy as the champion of 1990. Congratulations to Tony Roderick, a very proud champion. He also receives compliments of Qantas, a trip to Las Vegas to be in the high roller competition at the end of the year. Sharon Sawyer-Brown doing the honours from Qantas. Tony, you've got a trip, plenty of booty. Was a big win, wasn't it?
Oh, it certainly was, Chris. I came out here this weekend and I really felt like I was going to bowl well. I didn't realise I was going to get so many breaks as what I did, but I think that's what the game's all about, just to hang in there, make good shots and keep the ball in play.
Congratulations to Tony Roderick, the 1990 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic champion. There it is, a very happy 1990 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic champion in Tony Roderick. From all of our sponsors, Coca-Cola and, of course, Qantas, we'd like to thank you for joining us and look forward to your company again on Nine's Wide World of Sports.